Welcome to Handheld Gaming Reviews, a channel dedicated to reviewing and comparing the performance of games on handheld devices. If you enjoy this content, a like and subscribe will go a long way to helping the channel and keeping me motivated to make more videos. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the performance of 2023's Forza Motorsport on the ROG Ally. Before we get into the detail, I want to mention one thing: this game takes ages to optimize the shaders on startup. I thought this might improve over time, alas, not really. In terms of my testing, I'll be referring to either a mix of medium and low settings or low settings. I'll leave an explanation of my medium to low settings mix in the description below. The low settings, as you may have guessed, are with everything turned right down. So let's get into the performance. Low TDPs are not this game's friend. At a TDP of 10 watt with a screen resolution at 1080, all settings on low with FSR disabled, you're looking at frames in the low 20s and an experience I would class as unplayable, with the game looking, well, it's on screen now, you be the judge. After experiencing this, I did what any self-respecting performance tester should do and ramped that FSR up to ultra. And what I found was, the game actually ran worse with frames dipping in the low teens. This FSR performance hit wasn't just for the lower TDPs either, mind you. I found it pretty consistent across my testing. At higher TDPs, the frame rates didn't appear to improve outside what I would consider to be within the margin of error, with the graphics looking a little worse. To be fair, a quick Google or Reddit search will showcase the sheer volume of issues this game is having at launch, so it's possible these FSR issues will be resolved at some point. If you're committed to trying to run this game at a TDP of 10 watt, bringing that resolution down to 720p with all the settings on low and FSR off, you'll see frames in the mid to high 20s. The experience isn't great, but I'd say it's borderline playable. Bring that TDP up to a more respectable 15 watt at 1080p and you'll see frames in the mid 20s to low 30s running at medium to low settings. Dropping those settings down to low and you'll see more respectable frames in the low to mid 30s with the occasional dip into the high 20s. I thought this might be a good candidate to lock the FPS at 30, turning the performance target to 30 FPS with VSync enabled. These settings yielded frames still hovering between 29 and 34, so the in-game frame lock didn't work in my experience. This might be improved over time, or if you have third-party software that can lock your FPS to 30, you might have some luck. If any of you have had success locking the frames to 30 FPS, leave a comment below. If battery life is your game, you can bring the resolution down to 720p at 15 watt with medium to low graphics settings. You'll see frames in the high 30s to mid 40s. Bump that TDP up a little further to 18 watt and I think we've hit the sweet spot of performance versus battery life at 1080p. With these settings, you'll see frames in the mid 30s to low 40s, and if I'm being honest, the game ran perceivably smooth, so much so that I had to remind myself to make note of the frame rate. So how about that weather? While most of my testing was in calm weather, I did perform enough testing playing in raining weather to confirm that you will almost certainly take a performance hit. While raining, at a TDP of 25 watt on 1080p at medium to low settings with FSR disabled, I experienced frames in the low to mid 30s. Still very playable, but certainly not as good as playing on a dry track where you'll get in the high 40s to mid 50s with the same settings. Bump that TDP up to 30 watt and you'll see frames in the high 30s on a track with thunderstorms. If you're playing docked or plugged into power, this won't be as much of a concern. Otherwise, if you're playing through career mode and unable to control the weather, the rain might tank your frames if you're running at a TDP lower than 25 watt. So what's the verdict? Well, if you've got Game Pass, then I'd say you have nothing to lose from installing this game and giving it a go. If you don't have Game Pass, I'd say there's enough headroom with the Ally to tweak the settings to suit your preference for graphics fidelity versus performance. Either way, I think you'll have a lot of fun with this game on the Ally if you're a fan of racing games. If you've made it to the end, a big thank you for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.